Telling our stories is the connective tissue of the collective human experience. The Just Keep Talking podcast delves into the lives and stories of artists. What is the impact of mental health on creativity? What does it mean to be a creative individual? Someone who feels deeply, experiences joy and pain intensely, and navigates the challenges of life through the creative process. With each story shared, we explore the authentic experience of our basic need to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. We're really not so different from one another, nor are we alone. Together, we can inspire, encourage, and enlighten each other to find the true joy and fulfillment that is within ourselves. When we just keep talking, we create the space for gratitude, self-acceptance, and grace in everyday life. In a world filled with divisiveness, fostering inclusivity and connection is a powerful way to make a positive impact. The Just Keep Talking podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters.
Hi, and welcome to the red carpet. I'm Katie Cook, live from the CMT Music Awards at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena.
Joining us now to remember Johnny Cash is Katie Cook, the co-host of Country Music Television's Most Wanted Live. She joins us from Nashville. We always love to have her. Good to see you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to head over to Katie at our feedback station.
Thank you so much, April, Mr. President.
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hi, I'm fabulous. Thank you.
Will you run for president, please?
No. We've had enough boobs in the White House.
Dolly, if you were a bumper sticker, what would you say?
I guess I'd say get off my ass, you're too close.
Hello and welcome to the Just Keep Talking podcast with me, your host, Brother Love. I am so thrilled to say that your story matters because it does. And I am also thrilled to be here today with Katie Cook. Hello.
Hello, Brother Love.
Oh, my goodness. You are a Renaissance woman. You are television and podcast host, author, musician, painter. Katie Cook has gained great success as a television host for CMT, beginning her broadcast career with the MTV Network's channel in 2001. Since then, you have become a go-to expert in the field of country music and for celebrity interviews in all genres. I'm going to keep going with this Google-ness. Notable television appearances include a conversation with President Obama. Oh, my goodness. Co-hosting Nashville Star for NBC with Billy Ray Cyrus and playing herself, because there's no better person to be than yourself, on ABC's Nashville. She's also been called upon as a country expert for CNBC, MSN, and CNN with Anderson Cooper. Oh, my goodness. I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm thrilled to have you here in my home. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me back. I was here a few months ago with your husband.
Yeah.
Adam Schoenfeld. You guys married in 2017?
Yeah.
And just for those of you who don't know, Adam Schoenfeld is a guitarist, songwriter, producer. He is the guitar on Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, Big and Rich, Jason Aldean's Hicktown. He's currently Tim McGraw's touring guitar player. You both have a band together called Suncat.
We do.
Oh, my goodness. I remember Suncat a few years ago, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, we played a show together at the basement.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remembered being like, the coolest band name ever.
Thanks.
Right? And the songs, I was listening again today, and I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, because you were on Lightning 100. You got some love from this city. I just don't know where you find the time.
Well, I don't sleep very much. We haven't had the time for Suncat the
Right.
last couple of years, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we need to get back to it. So thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goodness. I mean, you were on People Magazine, your wedding. You guys are big deals. I'm here, big stars here.
Hey, we're big in our own mind.
Exactly.
No, this town has loved on us so much.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And it was really nice when we got together because we knew so many of the same people. But when you start a new relationship, you bring new people to the table as well. And everyone I've met through him, my world has just expanded so much since being with him and vice versa. And it's just more love, more love, more love.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And you have 3 children.
We do.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit of a Brady Bunch thing. I had a daughter and he has a daughter and a son. So
Yeah.
now I have bonus kids. And they're all really close in age.
Right.
Which could have been a disaster, but they get along so well.
Wow.
They're so precious together.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
My goodness. So your career, you started in music, right? Your father, what a songwriter. I mean, I was like, I didn't know this about you. Roger Cook is your dad.
He is.
How did you do that? He wrote Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress for the Hollies. You've got Your Troubles by the Fortunes and Coca-Cola's I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing. Perfect harmony. You grew up in perfect harmony. Did you grow up in perfect harmony?
Oh gosh, no. My life was a roller coaster like anyone else's. Lots of rock and roll. I saw all kinds of things I shouldn't have seen. But you know what? I was raised by people that believed in love and equality and kindness, and especially racial equality was such a big theme growing up. That's what my dad was singing about. Ironically, one of his songs, Melting Pot, was a huge hit for Blue Mink in England, and it's now been banned because in an attempt to bring everyone together racially, they used a lot of the terms that were big at the time.
Yeah.
You know, kind of poking fun at it. But of course, now all these years later, you can't do that.
Right.
It's not allowed. And so it's just so funny that his biggest hit about racial harmony is now banned because they're scared it's racist. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I was raised with so much love and music around. It was a really cool childhood in many, many ways.
Were you in England or were you in the States?
So I was born in London.
Right.
And most of my family's still in England. We moved to America when I was 5 and moved to Nashville. I've only ever lived in London and Nashville. Most people I know have lived in 10 different cities, but I've only ever lived in the 2.
Right.
And we go back every year to visit family. And I moved back, well, I was there in 8th grade, but I finished high school here. Then I moved back there. Then I moved back again to start a band with my brother. But then we got a record deal here. So I ended up back here. So I've kind of gone back and forth a lot in my life.
Reno was the band, right?
It was, yeah.
And you were on Curb?
Yeah, we got signed to Curb.
2001 or so?
Yeah, I think we finished our album in 2000. And actually, no, God, was it 99 or so? I'm trying to think because I started with CMT and that was 2001, I think, when I started with CMT.
Right.
Yeah, it all kind of crashed together.
Yeah. So let's go to that or around there. I mean, like,
Sure.
you've had so many careers, it seems.
I have.
Well, I mean, just to get a record deal is huge. I
It
mean,
is.
people want that for their entire lives
Yeah.
and beg for it and pine for it and try for it. You had it and you said, we're
No,
good.
that's definitely not how
No-
it worked.
no?
So I got a publishing deal first.
Right.
I moved back to England. I had the chance to work with a family friend, a manager, Harry Barter,
Right.
that had worked with my father. Well, they've known each other since they were teenagers, and I'd always wanted to work with him. So he said, well, come back to England, form this band with your brother Jason, and we'll try to get you a publishing deal. So I got an EMI publishing deal. Then we did eventually get the Curb deal. What happened, unfortunately, is we started spending most of our time back in the States. So I'm in a band with 2 English guys, and we're spending all of our time in the States. I was getting burnout if I spent all my time there. They were getting burnout if they spent all their time here. But we were touring all over the States, doing the radio tours, as you know.
Yeah.
Getting up at 6 a.m. to go to radio, whining and dining them after the show till 1 a.m., and just burnout central, right? And the guys got really burnt out and our guitarist quit.
Yeah.
We had put out our second single and we were really close to breaking the top 40. Curb put a lot into us. They spent a lot of money on us and it was going really well and he quit.
Wow.
And basically it was like, well, Katie, we're going to keep you. We'll just work you as a solo artist. We'll, you can just put another band together. But then I spent like 3 years not agreeing with them on what my sound should be.
Oh, yeah.
And by then I was really broke. And thank God for CMT coming along when it did, because I don't know how else I would have paid my bills. But I thought I'd be at CMT for like a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Until I got my act together with the label, and then I'd be back out touring and putting out records. And then 23 years later, I was still with CMT.
Wow. Did you always have that sort of idea in you? Like, was it always music and then you said, here's an opportunity, or you're just an entertainer, you've come from it all?
I always thought I'd be a writer and a singer. I
Really?
had no idea I'd do television, and I had no training to do television. But I had a friend that had heard about auditions at CMT. And I said, well, I know my drummer I was working with at the time, his girlfriend worked for CMT. I said, I'll put in a good word for you and find out where to go. You can go audition. Well, he ended up not going. But she kind of talked me into going. She said, I met Dolly Parton this week. She came in for an interview and I was like, oh my gosh, you could get paid and talk to people like Vince Gill and Dolly Parton and Alison Krauss. I was like, that sounds like a great side gig while I figure out my record deal. And I went and auditioned. I didn't even have a headshot. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm not shy. So I just was kind of like, hey, back to number 19 on the countdown. I'm just kind of like pointing at the camera and acting all like I'm trying to just pretend to act like someone on television.
Sure.
And I got the job.
That's amazing.
I know, was crazy. I was like, are you sure you know what you're doing? But again, I thought I'd be there 6 months or a year, and they kept me on.
Looking at what you do and how you do it, how much acting in that moment or during that time were you doing? Or did you just naturally relax in order to uncover something that was already there?
Well, I think you're always kind of acting when you do radio or television, you know, and I definitely still think I'm just trying to act like someone I've seen on TV from when I was a kid.
Who?
You know, I don't know, Johnny Carson or something. I don't really know what I'm trying to do.
Right.
But I do think I put on a different suit when I go to work.
Yeah.
Maybe a different side of my personality comes out. But at the end of the day, I was hired to just talk to musicians about music. And I can do that all day long, any day of the week. It's in my wheelhouse. And, you know, because of my dad's career, I was around plenty of famous people growing up. So I don't get weirded out by that at all.
Yeah.
And I started to figure out very quickly that they viewed me not as a typical journalist. Whether they knew about my background in music or not, I think they could sense that there was some sympathy there. I know what it's like to be them being interviewed. And so I think somehow I just fell into this really good rhythm and pattern where I trusted that I knew how to do it, even though I hadn't been trained.
Right.
Now, live television's a whole different thing. Reading a teleprompter with millions of people watching you is a little nerve-wracking.
Right.
That, I don't know. People say I was good at it. I'm not sure I ever totally felt comfortable with that.
Right.
But just talking to people, I can do that all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Are you a yenta? She's a real yenta, this one.
I don't know what it means, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, yenta. Somebody who likes to talk a lot. That's Yiddish for talk a lot.
I can do.
Yeah, but I was going to say that you are very comfortable. You look very comfortable. I was watching your reel, and then it's like, oh, yeah. It's you. You know, like, I've known you for years. Like, it's Katie Cook. Like, I'm going to your house today to talk to you. You're so comfortable in your interviews.
Oh, thanks.
And you're so relaxed. And you really create the space for connection.
That's really important to me. And sometimes that starts before the camera's rolling. Well, you know, you're sitting there, they're working on your lighting. The artist is getting comfortable. They're getting mic'd up. And I always try really hard before any interview to see if there's any common ground. We might just know someone in common. Or I will listen to someone's album and I'll find the song that I know probably won't get to be the single. But I can tell must have meant a lot to that artist. And we'll just be sitting there and I'll be like, you know, that second verse in that song really struck me. And they immediately go, okay, you actually care about my career. You're not just going to ask me about my divorce or my DUI or whatever.
Right.
You have to just humanize it.
Yeah.
You only have sometimes a minute before the cameras are rolling. But if you can make that connection before it starts, it helps everyone relax because then the person watching can be relaxed.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think listening is the greatest gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that because you make it fun. Country music especially is just sort of like a machine, especially out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're this go-to person. CNN, I mean, Anderson Cooper, you know, we're going to go to our expert here, Katie Cook, you know, President Barack Obama. What was that like for you?
He was lovely. He was so warm and cool. You want to talk about cool under pressure? Like, we did this whole live town hall with all these college kids, some of them asking really difficult, pointed questions. They had me at like the Twitter station, and I was taking the most ridiculous questions from the Twitterverse, and I had to ask him a couple things that, frankly, I felt very stupid asking that really weren't cool at all. But I was doing my job, and he knew it wasn't me.
Right.
But even after all that, after the cameras stopped rolling, he stayed on for at least another 30 minutes, just talking with the audience and answering questions. And then we got to go backstage and meet him. And he came back swaggering down the hall. He's like, what a cool bunch of kids out there, man. I got so much faith in the future of humanity. And he came over, he's like, let's take pictures. And he's got his big old arms around us. I was kind of right at his armpit level. And I was like, wow, no body odor.
Wow.
That guy is cool. He did smell of cigarettes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but man, he was just really cool and really nice. And I mean, regardless of where you lean politically, I think you have to respect that he's just someone who has carried himself with a lot of class. He stayed really calm and brought a lot of love into the room with his answering.
Right.
I just gained a lot more respect for him that day. I already respected him, but it was a great experience.
So was he already the president? This was going into the second
yes.
term. Yes, he
Yeah.
was, because you said Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you're speaking like you're just hanging out with a cool guy.
I I was like, what is even happening? What is my life right now? It was really cool.
Now, I noticed that you are the height that you are because you and I are similar height, which is good for you, not so much for me. Because I noticed that when Taylor Swift hugs you...
Oh, she has to lean down.
She has to lean down. How was the smelling situation on that one?
Oh, she's sweet. She's sweet. She smells like, I don't know, Bath and Body Works.
I'm
just
sure.
all the girly sweet stuff.
Yeah.
She's precious.
Is she?
I love her. Yeah, she's one I feel lucky to have known from day one. I think she was 16 the first time I interviewed her and got to go to her house. She rode me all around Hendersonville in her little sports car and her Lexus while we did an interview. And at one point her phone rang and she's like, oh, it's Selena. Let me get it real quick. And I'm like, oh my God, she's getting a call from Selena Gomez. She's just cool. And she always knew how to handle a room and handle the press so beautifully. And I remember at the end of that interview, because I'd spent hours with her that day, I said, oh, do you get the rest of the day off? She goes, no, I'm doing more interviews. I was like, oh, bless your heart. She goes, oh, people are nice enough to want to ask me about me. All I'm doing is talking about myself. She's like, if I can't do that, I'm a loser. I don't think she said loser, but I was like, good for you, man. She's amazing. A workhorse.
I fell in love with everything about her because during the early years when I remember being in a van in my band driving around and reading about her, in that she always answered every comment, all of her friends and followers. It was a newness, right? I mean, it wasn't like millions and millions and millions yet, but it was hundreds and then it was thousands. And she really took the time to care about her audience and to really listen and to really just appreciate it.
They felt seen by her. And she mastered that whole social media thing because that was still pretty new when she was first coming out. And she, like you said, took the time to answer people. And the first time I was on her tour bus, she showed me she had an entire closet on her tour bus filled with stationery. Yeah. And at the end of every night before she'd go to bed, whoever she had met that day, radio, fans, parents of fans, whatever, she would write letters to people and have them mailed. Who does that?
Right.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah. So why so much hate? Somebody like Taylor, I mean, honestly, to this day, it's just, I don't even understand. I mean, I understand. We talked about this off air. People really love to have an enemy. They really want to see some kind of negativity out there to maybe feel like they are not alone in being negative. I don't even know.
I don't know. It's a cancer.
It is.
In the world. And it's not necessary. And people throw rocks at shiny things.
Yeah. But the president, Obama, Taylor Swift, I mean, these are people you got to spend some time with and you see the good in them. Is that your nature? Are you able to see the good in most things?
I try.
Yeah.
And if I can't, I want to understand why. I don't like feeling hateful or angry. And I do find that if I take the time to understand someone, even if I disagree with them completely, I can usually at least figure out why they feel the way they feel. Yeah. And I think those people that are angry and hateful, they are hurting. Hurt people. And it's not rocket science. It's really not. Yeah. And I tend to feel sorry for people that are spewing hate. Perhaps I should hate them and be angry at them, but I'm thinking, well, what a horrible way to live. Yeah. I mean, don't they say it takes far fewer muscles in your face to smile than to frown? And I really believe that. I know that sounds kind of corny, but it's true. And I don't want to take on that hateful feeling. Yeah. It's too heavy and it's awful. So I feel bad for people that do that. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah. Well, you have a good head on your shoulders about it. You must be a really great mom.
Oh, I try. Yeah. I don't know. You'd have to ask my daughter.
Well, what's it like? How long were you a single mom for? If you don't mind me asking.
A couple years. Yeah. Before Adam and I started dating. Yeah. And I have a wonderful relationship with my ex-husband. We're great friends. We co-parent really well together. I adore his wife. So, I mean, everything's worked out as well as it possibly could. Nobody ever wants to get divorced. That's not something you ever want to do. But you don't do it unless you need to. Right. And he and I are such good friends again. And ultimately, I wanted my daughter to see both of us being happy and healthy, not being grumpy all the time. Yeah. You can really love somebody, but if you become oil and water at some point, you staying together for the kids, you think maybe you're doing the right thing, but you really have to think, what example are you showing them? Yeah. And I knew I'd be better off showing her either me being happy alone or being with someone that I'm such great friends with, that I get along so well with, that would inform her what a good marriage looks like and what a good relationship looks like. So it was really important to me to give her that, even if it meant being alone for the rest of my life, which was scary. But I know I did the right thing. And She is such a great, well-rounded kid.
Yeah.
But no matter how good of a parent you are, you're going to have those stumbling moments. I would say my advice to anyone is just communicate. Even if it feels so scary, even if you're scared they're going to say something that crushes your heart, you have to ask them. You have to check in with them and say, hey, stuff feels a bit funky this week. Let's just lay it all out on the table. You have to give them a safe place to land, because if they're scared to tell you what's wrong, then they'll bottle it up and you think you just have a moody teenager, but there's probably a reason for it.
Yeah. Wow.
So we just learned to really, really communicate. And it was a little scary the first couple times when we kind of hit a roadblock, but we worked through it.
Yeah.
And now I just don't think there's anything we can't throw at each other, if we need to. So it's really good.
Is she friends with other friends that have famous moms or dads?
I'm not sure she is, actually. I think a lot of her friends' parents have pretty normal jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're an entertainer. There has to be a bit of selfishness in that. And I don't even want to say it in a negative way. Self-centeredness, let's say. And yet you sound so selfless. And so much of your life, just in the conversation we just had, the fact that you have the ability to meet somebody where they are, that you feel like it's necessary to take the time to see someone, to hear somebody, and to try and belong with that person in their space is quite selfless. It's no wonder why you married such a wonderful man and he married such a wonderful you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I've never met somebody I couldn't learn something from, even if I think I totally disagree with them or we're on opposite sides of everything. You got to meet people where they are. It's where they are. Yeah, I mean,
sounds so easy when you put it that way.
You don't have a choice. And the only thing you can do is try to be a good influence in the world. And I mean, getting back to the whole entertainment part of it, I'm a total ham. You put me up on stage, I'm going to bounce around like the Energizer Bunny, and I love it. And I love the sound of applause. I love to make people laugh. And there is something totally self-serving about that. And I'm totally okay admitting that. It feels great. I love the limelight. But I mean, you can't be that way all the time, right? And I still think you can actually be extremely generous and loving in that moment too. And I think the best artists that really connect do that. They're not just absorbing the love, they're giving it out too. And country music is especially good in that area. I mean, fanfare, has existed for years now. They call it CMA Fest, but I don't know any other genre where an artist would mark off their whole week to be part of a festival where they're going to be sitting in a hot, sweaty booth, hugging people, taking pictures, signing autographs, performing, doing it all again over and over multiple times in a week just to connect with their fans. There was no money in it back in the day. Now you can probably find a way to make some pretty good money off CMA Fest. But back in the day, it was literally a thank you to the fans.
I remember.
Yeah.
I was there in a band being like, why are all these people here to give me a hug? I'm a Jewish kid from New York City playing drums in a country rock band.
You were part of it. You know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And other genres don't really expect that of their artists, but country music does. And I feel like it's a very reciprocal, loving genre.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm enthralled by the fact that you are a mother and you are in entertainment. I am seeing a lot of moms more now because I guess I'm having friends that are having babies. I guess that's what happens, isn't it, Katie?
It happens.
Does that happen in life?
Time's a ticking, clock's ticking. You got to pop them out.
Yeah, and I've been working now recently. I've been doing some jazz shows with Sarah Eiley.
I love her.
Yeah, Rachel Rodriguez. I work with her, and Alexis Sosky, and there's some singers. And none of these folks that I've just mentioned have nannies. They don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of external support. And that's just the way it is. And they're all fine. Yeah. Everybody's doing all right. And everybody works really hard. There are a lot of situations that I see, especially during Grammy time. There are these events. Congratulatory events dedicated to honoring moms in music. And I do not want to take away if you have the ability to have some money and you can have a nanny and you can, all of that's great. God bless. But I'm talking to my friends and they're really beat up and they feel like they're not being seen a lot of times. And they have to work 16,000 times harder just to get to their gig because of their kids. I just want to shine a light on how important it is to be a well-rounded person. What is it like to be a mom in the entertainment industry? You're not alone out there. You have a kid, even if you're a dad and you're a mom and you're trying to figure it out. what are your thoughts and like how did you navigate all that?
Well, my first thought is thank you so much for seeing mothers
Yeah.
and fathers. It is a lot to bring a child into this world and try to keep your former pace in the entertainment world. And I would say for the most part, you're probably not going to completely keep up with your former pace because your child will demand that you take some time off. And it's easy to get burnt out. And I would say, I think the biggest thing is let the laundry pile up. You don't have to cook every night. You're not going to be perfect. Your toenails won't be perfectly painted. You might not wash your hair for a week. There's only so much you can do. And if you get burnt out, you're not good for anyone and you have to put your mask on first. So if you can show up for your child and then just make that gig or two, you're doing enough.
Right.
Forget Martha Stewart, perfect home. Forget all of that. Forget the Christmas cards this year. If your friends don't understand why you can't hang out, then they're not really your friends. I mean, I have a whole part of my life as a mother where I realized I'd gone 3 or 4 years without seeing some of my best friends. It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But there's only so many hours in a day. You're going to just do what you can do to get by. And I also don't think it's a bad thing for your child to see you working really hard. I was having this conversation the other day. There's all this argument right now about, well, maybe women just need to go back to being moms and staying home and not working. To be clear, mothers have always worked. We don't have to go out in the field now and cultivate the crops or plant them or wash things on a washboard and hang them up on the line. We have dishwashers, we have refrigerators, we have grocery stores. Now there are some hours in a day where you can go do a job. You can go to your writing session. You can do these things. Kids have always watched their mothers work themselves to death.
Yeah.
Women never sat around eating bonbons with nothing to do while their kids were little. That's never been the case.
Right.
It's just different now. And let's face it, in this world, you probably need 2 incomes to get by.
Yeah.
For most people, that's just reality.
Yeah.
So I don't like to see all the guilt around mothers needing to work. I also think it's really healthy at a young age for your child to have somewhere to go a few days a week. That's just my personal opinion. Everyone's different. But at 18 months, my daughter started doing a few days a week at the little local church, preschool. And
What was she doing?
she freaking loved it. She was making best friends. She was coloring and she was learning to be social.
Yeah.
And she had a blast and she couldn't wait to go every day. And it got her so ready for kindergarten. By the time she was, kindergarten age, she had already had a few years of doing this. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
She loved it. It's okay to have some separation. But yeah, I see you mothers. It's
Yeah.
hard work. And dads. It's hard work. You just need to be okay with everything not being perfect. There's only so many hours in a day and you better take every nap you can get.
Oh, man. Does your daughter love what you do? Does she appreciate what you do?
I think so.
Yeah. I think it would be sort of a jokey thing for me if my dad was me.
I don't know. People always say, what was it like growing up with a dad that was a songwriter? I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know. I don't know any different. So
Yeah.
she doesn't know any different than having a mom that's on TV and writes music and now does radio. It's just what she knows. I think she appreciates it. It's a creative job.
Yeah.
And she's a creative person. She's in music as well.
Oh, she?
So I think she really digs it.
That's so cool. I mean, you've interviewed, my God, Kurt Russell, Faith Hill, Kenny Chesney, Robert freaking Plant.
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando Bloom, Winona Judd, George Clooney, Johnny Depp, Gwyneth Paltrow, John McCain, Dolly Parton, Garth Brooks, Willie Nelson, Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
Did you interview Richard
Oh
Simmons?
my gosh, he was so lovely. He was everything you want him to be. Came bouncing into the office in his little sweatpants. He got us all up exercising, and he was just so adorable. I love that man.
When I saw that, because we were discussing off air, my mother a little bit, and my mother passed away in 2002. And she has been showing up for me more and more and more, or maybe I'm just open to her now more and more and more. And I love doing radio. I love performing, as you do. And I do. I love the applause. I love it. And for me, it's always a reciprocal relationship. And it just is. My mother loved Richard Simmons. Like, I love Richard Simmons. I will cry at a drop of a hat. If something sweet is going on in this world, I'm in tears. And my mother loved Richard Simmons so much. And for me to be like Richard Simmons, like in my world, I would be Howard Stern meets Richard Simmons.
That's crazy accurate.
Meets Brene Brown, meets Michael Singer, and really, with a little kiss thrown in there too, the band. That's like my dream. And when people say, Larry or Brother Love, you on Community Corner on Lightning 100 talking, about the homeless really affected me. Or just sitting with somebody and listening, really taking the time. That reciprocal energy means so much to me. And so you really have gotten to know some of the most influential people of our time in every genre of life. Who has blown your mind?
Well, I always say Dolly Parton first.
You asked her to be president.
Oh, yeah, I did. She said, there's been enough boobs in the White House. She is such a doll. I've never been around her where I didn't learn something more about just how to be around people and handle people professionally. She's such a pro. She's so quick-witted and so funny. Blake Shelton's one of the funniest people I've ever met. George Clooney might be one of the most charming people I've ever met. Well, and Obama, of course. Gosh, there's no shortage. I pinch myself all the time. Robert Plant was cool. Man, he was so cool.
I remember I was at what they call the Murder Kroger in East Nashville. If you've lived here long enough, you know that.
I know.
The Kroger in Eastland, right?
Yeah.
That used to be called the Murder Kroger.
Yeah, for good reason.
Right. We have a Kroger up in Inglewood. That's the one I go to. Not because the other one's the Murder Kroger. It's just because they run out of a lot of stock. There's too many people in it. Anyway, I remember shopping a million years ago, back when Robert Plant was in Nashville a lot, right? He lived here for a while.
Yeah, and he used to hang out at Eastland Cafe. And, yeah.
I would go into Three Crow, used to be the greatest bar in the world, and they would be like, you just missed him, Larry. I'd be like, no! They knew exactly what I was talking about. But I was at the Murder Kroger. I had paid for my groceries, and I was waiting for Alex, my partner in Them Vibes and best friend. He's still paying for his groceries. I'm just waiting around, and I hear a voice. And the voice is like, thank you very much, like a beautiful English voice. And I'm like, I know that voice. And they're pushing a shopping cart full of groceries. Is Robert Plant. And he walks by me and I'm just like, please. And I'm like staring at him like a lunatic. You know what I mean? Like, of course, don't look at me because I'm crazy. Looking at you. And he just like casually walked by and he put his groceries in like the most nothing kind of a red little like car. There was nothing fancy about it. He went off on his merry little way. And I thought, this is the coolest place ever. This Nashville. I could dig it.
That's what Nashville is.
Yeah.
People are allowed to come here and just be normal. And I hope we don't ever lose that.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope we don't lose that. Yeah, because I'm a New Yorker, and that's the same in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked in a restaurant. I waited on Dick Clark.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, like Billy Crystal. Billy Crystal and I hung out and talked about baseball for 2 hours while his daughter had a birthday party, at the restaurant that I worked at.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so
Yeah.
I love that. Who was a little bit more, let's say, difficult to interview that you were like, I just didn't connect or it just didn't feel like it worked? Doesn't necessarily mean that they were negative or a jerk.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were. I don't
You know what? I don't mind telling you one night, normally I wouldn't answer this, but I think I can do it with some class.
Yeah.
One night when I was hosting the Opry, backstage we had Charlie Daniels and Steve Earle. They were on the same show. And I just sort of assumed that Steve and I would click, that he'd think I was cool, and I loved his music so much. And I adore Charlie Daniels. I thought he was a very, very sweet man, but I'd never met him. And I knew he was pretty conservative, and, I don't mind kind of putting it out there. I'm a little more down the middle. I lean a little left for sure, but I kind of can hear both sides of every argument. And again, I try to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
But I think usually the more liberal people tend to gravitate towards me. And so I assumed going into that night that Charlie may not really dig me and Steve would be like, you're really cool. Oh man, it couldn't have been more the opposite. I think Steve didn't love doing interviews and,
Right.
Maybe he was in a bad mood. I don't know. No shade to Steve, but there was just zero connection. I was just trying to be really nice and do a good job and be professional. He just couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah.
And down sits Charlie Daniels. And by the end of it, I wish I could have stuck that man in my purse and brought him home and hung out with him all night long. He could not have been more precious, more sweet and gracious. And he and I one time years later even got talking about politics, not on camera. And we butted heads. But he, at the end, still gave me a big old kiss on the cheek and was like, I just love you. Sometimes you don't have to agree with people to see their humanity. And he was nothing but gracious, even though we really didn't agree on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, I was so excited to meet Steve and zero connection. Zero. And I was
funny.
like, okay, that was a big lesson for me. That was early on at CMT. And I was like, all right, just because I dig someone's music might not mean that they care to talk to me at all.
Sure. I'm on the cover of a Charlie Daniels record.
Really?
Yeah, not everybody knows this, but he played, was it bass on Bob Dylan's Nashville record?
Yeah.
Nashville Skyline? Was that the record?
I think he's on that record, yeah.
Charlie Daniels played bass. And I guess Charlie Daniels, a few years ago, did a record of Bob Dylan covers.
Mm-hmm.
And my hairstylist at the time, she said, I have a photographer friend who works with Charlie Daniels, and they need a cover. They need to take some pictures. And you kind of look like Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay for Bob Dylan. I'm telling yeah. So like literally, it was like, hey, do you want to take some pictures? And I'm like, well, this seems very vague. About what? You know?
Yeah.
So I got a call from a photographer. We agreed to do the shoot. The money was a couple of $100 for 5 seconds of my time.
Nice.
There's a cobblestone street right around the corner from like Acme on Lower Broadway, like 2nd Street or something, or First Street.
There's cobblestone on First. And
that street kind of resembles the Bob Dylan record. Was it Bringing It All Home or Freewheelin'? Bob Dylan fans, I'm so sorry. And Bob Dylan, I'm sorry. Anyway, he's walking down a cobblestone street in the West Village of Manhattan, and he's got a girl on his arm. And basically, I wore the jacket that I have with me today, which is in the car. I didn't wear it into the house. I had my leather jacket on, and I didn't do anything as far as costuming or anything. And this photographer said, great, take 5 steps forward and 5 steps back. I got paid a couple of $100. I wasn't even there more than a minute. And I'm on the cover of a Charlie Daniels. Yeah, right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool. My silhouette. Yes, us Jews from, Bob was from Minnesota. He still is. But us Jews from the eastern coast of New York, we all look the same. I'm kidding, of course.
That's so cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it is very cool. So how do you maintain all of it? You do so much. I want to get to, you're an author. You wrote Little Big Benny.
Yes.
The boy who didn't know he was the universe.
Yes.
When I read that, I almost broke down. I'm going to cry now.
Oh, I need to give you a copy of the books.
Thank you.
They're an easy read. They're kind of more like, early reader, middle grade books. But my idea for that was just really getting kids to think very macro and micro and get outside of themselves a little bit. And there are all these characters that live within him. Mm-hmm. They don't know they're part of him. He doesn't know they're there, but there's all this cause and effect.
Right.
And he's very curious about the universe as well. And of course, he's being monitored by, aliens from outer space.
Yeah.
So it goes way macro, way micro. And, who has the grander view? I don't know. I mean, what is it, microscope or telescope? Who has the wider field of vision? They both do. And so it's really just supposed to be kind of mind expanding. But then, of course, he's in middle school and he has the bully and the crush on the girl and the parents that don't always understand him.
When did you write this book?
I got the idea for this back in, I think, 99.
You were touring.
We were touring. I was stuck on a bus, and I had my first laptop, which is hilarious now because it had like no memory. I could do, I think, like a basic Word document. That was about it. But I just got the idea. Honestly, the inspiration, it was Men in Black, that movie. Do you remember the scene at the end? They realize a whole universe is in a little tiny ball around a cat's neck.
Absolutely.
And I was just like...
Yeah.
And all these characters, when I get downloads, there's so much comes in at once that I don't even know. I almost feel like someone else wrote this book.
When you say when you get downloads?
Yeah, like when an idea comes really, really fast and you're almost like, I'm just going to move my hand because I don't even know where this is coming from. Like a song will write itself in, 10 minutes and you're like, did I even think of that? Sure. I don't even know who wrote that. So it felt like a download. I just kind of opened up and all these characters just popped into my head and I couldn't write it quick enough. But then I was so busy and it took me forever to get around to it. I finally sat and made myself finish it. I didn't publish it till 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. It took forever to get that written. I was just busy. I'd write on airplanes an hour here or there.
Right.
Yeah.
So you also, you mentioned it in the book, tying in paranormal, aliens. You got a whole other side to you.
Yes.
Tell me about this because, do you have a podcast?
Well, I was doing a podcast for Mufon. I've gotten too busy, unfortunately, to keep up with that. But I did that for a whole year. We did that once a week for a year.
And what was it called?
It was just the Mufon podcast. I think we called it What's Up. The What's Up podcast, I think is what we were calling it. Mufon Mutual UFO Network. Okay. I have a lot of friends at Mufon.
What is that? Thank you.
Sorry. Mutual UFO Network. They got started in the 60s when Project Blue Book supposedly got shut down, which we now know didn't really get shut down. The government, studying ufology. This was basically just civilians getting together to research it. And they have state directors in every state in America talking to witnesses and gathering information. They even work with the government, on Intel. It's pretty fascinating stuff. But I've just had a really paranormal life. I started having out-of-body experiences when I was tiny.
Like what?
I don't know. I'm just flying around my house. I used to tell people every single day, my adults, around me, like, yeah, I can fly. Can you fly? They're like, oh, that's cute. You're having dreams. I'm like, they're not dreams. I'm wide awake when this happens. And you get told enough that that's not possible, you eventually shut it down. But I've seen, felt, heard ghosts. I've had a lot of paranormal stuff. I've seen stuff in the sky, and I've always believed in it. And my parents are so cool and laid back and open-minded. And I wasn't raised with any religion, so I was very free to explore it all. And I think in a way, the more I explore it, the more it just makes me feel comfortable with the idea of death, that energy survives our physical form. Yeah. It's all connected.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so then you incorporate it into another passion of yours, which is painting.
Yes. I have a series of paintings called Alienated. Adam came up with that name, which I thought was really cool. And it just consists of me, when I have free time, which I haven't had a lot of lately, but I'll just go get those kind of mass-produced pictures like you find at Goodwill. Yeah. Stuff that was just mass-produced in the 60s and 70s. It's so easy to paint on. And I love just a good landscape scene, but then I'll put in like the aliens or the UFOs or the cryptids, Bigfoot. And it's just so fun. And I think the funniest thing for me is if I feel like I didn't do a really good job on one, I just take it back to Goodwill.
Oh, that's funny.
So it might have like half an alien in it or a Bigfoot that the face didn't turn out quite right. And I just donate it back.
Oh, okay. Whoever's listening, if you're at Goodwill and you see a painting with an alien on it, get it. It's a Katie Cook original.
It's not one of my finer ones.
Right.
That's why it's there.
Wow. Yeah. What are your feelings on fame?
On fame?
Fame. You're a famous person.
Oh, I'm not. No, I interview famous people.
I think you're a pretty famous person. I'm okay. I hear what you're saying as far as like the level of fame. But did you ever want to be famous? Like, do you want to be famous?
No. When my record deal fell apart, it was around the time when I was, really in the throes of interviewing famous people every single day. And so many of them are unhappy that I started to think I actually dodged a bullet. Yeah. I think fame can be incredible if you use it for good. It's really nice to have a platform. It's really nice to be someone that everyone wants to hear your opinion on something, because then you can spread some really good info into the world, right?
We hope. Yes.
We hope. It can be used detrimentally as well. I don't know. Fame in itself, I don't necessarily think is good. I have no problem admitting that I think money's fabulous. Money gives you choices in life, and money allows you to help people. Yeah. And there are so many organizations that I really, really love to support. So I welcome all the money in the world to pour my way. Money's not the bad guy. Right. And I think it gets a bad rap. I hear so much like, oh, billionaires shouldn't exist. Well, they do. Yeah. And some of them do great things. Some of them have $55 million weddings. That's a little extravagant. Not sure that's necessary. But if I had $1 billion, just hold me back, man, because there's so much good I want to do. There are so many animal organizations I want to say, I'm going to set you up with a trust. Your doors will never close. That's great. Money's a beautiful thing. And so that can come with fame. You can use your fame to generate great wealth and great attention for good things. But fame in itself, it should not really be the thing you desire so much.
Wow. You have such a good head on your shoulders in this industry, and also as a parent and as a wife, a partner. So how do you keep it together? Your mental health, do you have a regimen? How do you keep it all together? I started to say earlier, how do you do it all? You do so much. You're very passionate. Every project that we've talked about, you light up like a Christmas tree, and that's just so inspiring. So how do you keep it all together? Like, what's your routine? What is your mental health? Like, you're clearly aware that you have energy that needs to be taken care of. You have a body that needs to be taken care of. You're not living necessarily frivolously and just kind of, wow, look at me, I'm lucky. What a great day. I mean, you have to work on it.
Yes,
and I have some boundaries.
I have a lot of energy, and I have to make sure I don't exhaust myself. I try to get really grounded every day. I can feel when my energy sort of starts to spiral up, and I almost feel like I'm going out of body. And so,
was that flying when you were a kid, or that's different?
Not so pleasant. Right. When you're supposed to be grounded in a situation, you feel yourself kind of, my energy's getting really crazy. So there's a lot of ways that I ground. I mean, you can literally go stand barefoot in the grass, but it's not always the right time of day or time of year for that.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, I take like 3-hour baths almost every day.
Really?
I sit in water. My dream is to have an indoor pool so I can just be in water every single day. It grounds me, it calms me. And I do meditate a lot. And I've learned to nap like nobody's business.
Good for you.
And it might even be, sometimes I'm literally at the radio station and I feel my energy kind of flying away from me. And I'll say to my co-hosts, hey, I need to do my meditation nap, I call it. And I close my eyes and I've learned to go there real fast.
Wow.
I go into the zone really fast. And I tell myself as I'm going into the zone that this is a restorative nap and I can rejuvenate myself really quickly if need be.
Wow.
And then also just try to be aware of my energy when I'm around. I don't love to be around a lot of people. I don't really like crowds because I feel everybody else's stuff and it drains me. So now I know to put that kind of protective barrier around myself when I go into public.
Yeah.
Even in a grocery store, I can stand next to someone and be like, oh, God, they're having a hard time. You know, I just feel it. And you got to be real careful if you're that kind of person. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the word is empath, but there's something kind of corny about that. I feel like that gets thrown around a lot. And
I agree.
you ask basically the question, how I do it all. And it's just managing my energy and forgiving myself for the things I won't get done this week. Sometimes you just have to say, that's not going to happen today, and I need to be okay with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, I was just talking to my therapist the other day, and empath came up, and I thought, like, what a dirty word. I did. I was like, it gets thrown around so much, and then I thought, oh, he's talking about me, and I am that, and I do feel other people's energy to the point where I get debilitated, or I just get knocked over, or I'm just joyous. You know, I mean, it's the whole gamut. It's tough to deal with, but I have one thing that I do, which is I will go to the mall for a massage.
Yes.
Because I'm from, in New York, in the city, in the East Village where I lived, there were like 10 of them within a 2 blocks radius of my house. And you get a punch card, and after 10 massages, you get a free massage.
I love it.
It's great.
It's like a free buffet at the pizza place.
Exactly.
Love it.
They got the same thing at the mall. I go to the Opry Mills Mall, and everybody's like, are you out of your mind? Why would you do that? And I'm like, because it's an exercise for me to relax. If I could sit in the middle of a freaking mall, and I don't like get naked on a table, it's a chair massage.
Yeah.
And I get a massage, and I can relax and put all my stuff down and be okay, then I can be okay.
I love me a mall massage.
Yeah.
Love it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a woman. How do you do it in this world, right? We get older, our bodies fail us, it's just inevitable, and you're in this business just like everybody else. And you got to keep doing what you're doing. Do you find yourself hitting walls? Do you find yourself hitting negativity? Do you find yourself hitting situations where they're like, sorry, you're too old now, or you're not pretty enough now, or you're not blonde enough now? And I hate even asking this question.
No, it's a wonderful thing. I'm really glad you brought it up. I have had less of that from the outside in and more it comes from me. I'll think, oh, you're not young enough to be on TV anymore. I've been really hard on myself and I'm learning to forgive myself a lot, for just aging.
Yeah.
We are in a culture where it's, you're just supposed to look young forever. Well, we're not going to.
Yeah.
So I am getting more comfortable with it. But I think there's so much shame around things that make it easier, shortcuts. I have no shame in telling people I totally get Botox. I get filler. I've done the weight loss shots. I'll do whatever I need to do to where I look in the mirror and I just love the way I look. Yeah. And nobody's going to shame me for that. There's so many people out there doing it. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, right. Yeah, you just really went on that big of a diet and you really just live at the gym.
Right.
And your face just really hasn't wrinkled. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not reality. If you're okay not doing any of that stuff, that's awesome. Yeah. That's totally great. But I woke up one day and I looked in the mirror and I was like, God, I look so grumpy. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Now I get why people don't love aging. You start to look tired. And I was like, but I feel so energetic inside. Why is my face not matching how I feel?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to try this Botox thing. This is years ago. I actually started it pretty young. And I just said, do just a little bit. I don't want to look weird.
Yeah.
I still want to look like me, but what would I look like if I didn't have this grumpy look between my eyebrows, right? And she did it. And I was like, oh, I love this. When you feel good about yourself, you just, man, it just radiates out. So I just tell people, you do you. Don't worry about everybody else. Yeah. Do people take it too far? Of course. Yeah. Are we all going to maybe have some weird gut issue in a few years from taking these shots? I don't know. Yeah. But today I feel so good. I really like how I look. I really love my age. I would not go back in time if you gave me the chance because every day I get wiser. So I would never want to go backwards.
Yeah.
but I wouldn't mind my face going backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm just honest about it. I don't think we get anywhere by lying about what we do.
Yeah.
Some people need to go out and spend money on expensive clothing to feel good. Whatever your thing is, just do it. Don't worry about anybody else.
Shine on, Katie Cook. Shine on. Well, let's talk about what you're doing now. Pickle Jar Up All Night.
Yes.
You have a radio show. Katie and Scott. What's Scott's last name?
Scott Gaines.
Scott Gaines.
Yes.
I saw this pickle jar thing, and then I saw you have a radio show, and none of it made sense because I don't know what pickle jar is, and I did a little research. Tell us, what is it all about?
So Pickle Jar started actually as an artist tipping app. It was designed for artists to be able to connect with their fans and get paid easily. You go see a live act, and they'll have like a Venmo code for you to tip them. So this was just like another tipping app. But then they had the idea to create a radio show that would help promote the app. And so they've had a couple different hosts over the years, but they landed on Scott and I late last year. And we have connected like nobody's business. I mean, he and I have the best chemistry. We have so much fun. It's an overnight show. It's country music.
Yeah.
It's pretty much going to be, what's in the top 40. But what I really love is what happens between the songs. We have a chance to really talk about the artists, our relationships with them. We're out of Nashville, Tennessee. So sometimes we have this kind of word on the street stuff that nobody else hears. So I get to just talk about music, which is something I really love. And it allowed me to get back in the music business because I had a break for a couple of years when I left CMT.
Right.
And this now has me back in with all my people that I know and interacting again. It feels really good.
They're so lucky to have you.
You're
oh my
sweet.
Gosh. I mean, but you bring a lifetime of experience and all of your energy. And so it's on, what is it, 106.7?
Well, it's 106.7 Y'all Country. That's here in Nashville, but we're now syndicated.
Right.
We've gone out to, I think, 82 stations as of last week across the U.S. and hopefully many more. We're coming for you. World domination, baby.
So it's an overnight show.
Yeah.
Wow. I just love it. I'm so in love with your life.
Thank you.
It's just so wonderful. Really, I thank you so much. Shine on.
Shine on, baby. Shine on, brother love.
I have a couple of speed round questions. Are you ready?
Okay.
It's really not that difficult. What fascinates you, Kate?
Outer space.
Outer space. Have you always been fascinated with outer space?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a child of the 70s, so, all the Star Trek, Star Wars, all that stuff. And then, of course, when E.T. came out, I've always believed in aliens. But it's the mathematics of outer space, the sheer size. And this kind of thing literally keeps me up at night. Like, I think, okay, they say the universe goes on forever. But how can it? Right? Like, I'm like, where's the wall? You at some point got to bump into a wall, right? Like, how can anything go on forever?
Right.
But then I think, well, even if there was a wall, what's outside the wall? And I go crazy thinking about infinity.
Wow.
And if light coming to us from all these suns and stars, if it's really infinite, like, how do we even see any black space at all? How is it not all light reaching us? Like, I don't know. My mind just goes crazy with that stuff.
That's amazing. You're the most grounded person that's talking about being up in the sky somewhere that I've ever heard. What angers you? What pisses you off, Katie Cook?
Testing on animals, taking advantage of people with disabilities or the elderly or children being harmed in any way, just bigotry in general.
Yeah.
But I don't find anger to be a very useful energy for me. It's not where I have any power. For some people, it's their power place. Gosh. I think, well, we all just have to know ourselves and know where our power is. And when I get angry, my energy goes extremely low very quickly. And I just sort of spin in circles. Whereas if I fight that anger and I try to match it with positivity to squash it, if that makes sense, then I get my power back. And I think, like, we can't all be on the front lines. Some people are supposed to be out front with a sword in their hand, but some people need to be in the tent tending to the wounded as they come back.
Yeah.
And I think my nature is more to try to understand why things are happening and how I can fix it, but not with anger. That's just not my power place. So it's not that things don't make me angry. I just would rather fix them a different way with a different emotion.
Wow.
I
want to be you when I grow up.
Oh, God, you're so nice.
Really? I know, but because I talk about it all the time on this show and in general in life, because I don't feel like we need to come out and appear powerful in order to be empowered.
I think it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Some people really are meant to be on the front lines with that righteous anger, and I respect their place in the world.
Yeah.
It's their place of power. It's just not mine.
Yeah, I appreciate that outlook. You're reframing it for me in a way, because now I'm looking at my anger, and I have a lot of anger, as such a negative thing. And so I can't just throw it away because it's there, and I want to transmute it into something positive, and I get stuck.
Well, you use it. Use it how it feels right for you.
Yeah.
If it crushes you and diminishes your energy and makes you want to crawl in bed, then I would say anger's not useful for you.
Anger doesn't make me want to do that. Everything else makes me want to crawl into bed. Anger just makes me want to stand and fight toe to toe, which case I become small.
Well, there's some righteous anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just have to figure out what works for you.
Cool.
If the fight makes you get something done that you really feel like that was your place in this world and that was your job, then anger's okay for you.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate it. Thanks. What brings you joy?
Oh, lots of things. Gardening, my cat, love, people, peace, feeling peaceful.
Yeah.
I've had a few times in my meditations where this surprised me, that the most joy and peace I felt was when I had brief moments of the complete absence of stimulation. It wasn't that I was given this joyful message or this happy thing or the tools to the universe. It was more that everything went so silent and still that I felt so much joy I didn't even want to come back into my body. So I'm taking that lesson and I'm trying to find those moments in my life every day. I'm learning to sit in silence and do nothing, which is hard for me. But I'm trying to find those moments because they bring me joy.
That's amazing, because those are the hardest spaces to exist. The quiet, the gray, the times and moments when there is nothing, and because we feel like we need to be doing something. If I'm not doing something, then I am nothing.
Yes. Yes.
And all you're doing is just being.
Yeah.
And there's so much power. I've been reading the Book of the Tao, T-A-O, Tao, right?
Yeah.
The Book of the Tao, Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen Buddhist writings and teachings and philosophies. And that's the message that I find so profound, is it's not in the doing, but it's in the being. And to just be and not to do doesn't mean that I'm not doing anything.
You're doing something. You're recharging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rejuvenating yourself. And then when you get up to do something, you'll be twice as powerful.
Yeah. In that quiet space. Wow. If you had a magic wand and you could fix anything to your liking, I'm Katie Cook, and here's my magic wand, and this is what I'm going to change and fix.
I'm going to close down all the laboratories testing on animals. We have technology now to replace that.
Yeah.
And that would make me happy. And I'd also like to see housing all over the world for individuals with intellectual developmental disabilities where they can live independently. And I'm working with an organization, Our Place Nashville.
Yeah.
They do just that. They are wonderful. I dream of becoming a billionaire so that we could build so many more of those housing units. And so if I had a magic wand, I would win the lottery. I'd go by that billboard and I'd go, bring, you're mine. And all that money would fall into my account. I'd have animal sanctuaries everywhere.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
All right.
And of course, I'd cure cancer, right?
Yes, of course.
Right.
All right. Last question. This is a very big one. Toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Thank you. I knew you were a sane individual with a big heart who understands how things really work. Katie Cook, host of Pickle Jar Up All Night radio show with Katie and Scott, 106.7 WNFN FM, and all over the country. Katie, where can we find you? Do we want to find you?
You don't need to find me.
Yeah.
I'm just out here doing my thing. You do your thing. I send you all love. And thank you, Brother Love, for just being in my house today.
You are a Renaissance human being, an artist in the truest sense, and a human being that we need more of in this community in Nashville, Tennessee, and in the world. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to hold you to it. I think we all need to hear another Sun Cat record with you and your darling husband. I think we would love that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. My name is Brother Love. This is the Just Keep Talking podcast. Your story matters so very, very much. And until next time, bye-bye.
You can personally support this show simply by clicking the tip link in the show notes. The Just Keep Talking podcast is now available on all podcast platforms. Please like, share, and subscribe. Visit our website at justkeeptalking.com, our YouTube channel at Just Keep Talking Podcast, and Instagram at The Just Keep Talking Podcast. We all just want to be seen, to be heard, and to belong. Thank you so much for supporting my mission and the Just Keep Talking Podcast with me, Brother Love, because your story matters.